In this video, I'll explain what we're doing, why, and how. In a separate video, I'll do a straight-up guided meditation where I walk you through the steps. But first, I think it's helpful to understand the what and why of meditation so you can adapt and modify what we're doing to better serve you and your needs. In this video, you're going to learn how to do meditation for psychic work. There are many methods, but this is the one I use, so I know it's effective. I've worked with and guided a lot of people through my approach to psychic meditation, and every single person has benefited in some way and had some sort of opening experience. So expect that this will work for you. There's no pressure. Don't worry or judge yourself. That's not helpful. And don't judge or criticize me because I'm not telling you the same thing that guru whoever has told you about meditation or how she does it. Again, I'm usually a little different with how I approach these things. For one thing, I've noticed that there's this resistance to meditation. Nobody talks about this, but we all have it. A lot of it may be the ego not wanting to give up control, and we make mental and emotional excuses, talking ourselves into turning meditation into this massively serious and sacred commitment. We mystify it and make it unattainable unless we promise to treat it with some incredible power to be harnessed on a mountaintop. For us, meditation is just semi-controlled spacing out and can be as rigid or casual as we want it to be. And for this lesson, we're going to go with making it really easy. Okay, so what is psychic meditation? For us, we're using meditation as a means of psychic readiness. It's a deliberate act of putting our mind in a neutral state or at baseline. And when I say baseline, I mean a starting point or fixed point of reference for making comparisons. So we'll use meditation to quiet our minds to baseline. So when we're psychically open, we have a frame of reference for anything that's outside of this baseline or neutral state. It helps us to be aware of what's us and our usual processes, thoughts, feelings, those kind of things, and what's not us. And differentiating between what's us and not us isn't easy. And so meditation helps us control or better understand at least the us part. All right, to demonstrate what I'm talking about, I'm going to ask you to do something. Right now, take a second and pay attention to what your body feels like. Are you hot? Are you cold? Comfortable? Uncomfortable? Are you restless? Tired? Wide awake? Are you hungry? Or are you just right? Just okay? Are you average? We've got a pretty good idea of how our bodies feel and what they're supposed to feel like. This is the baseline for our bodies. This is a frame of reference for how our bodies feel. I mean, hopefully you're reasonably comfortable and you don't have any chronic aches or pains. But whatever your usual is, this is your baseline or neutral. And if you aren't at this baseline or neutral, you know it. You realize that you are cold or you're hot or uncomfortable, and you can fix that. Now with meditation, or this approach to meditation, we start out with focusing on our mind. Here's another demonstration. I'm going to ask for you again to check in with yourself. This time, what's going on with your mind? What's going on in your thoughts and with your awareness? What are you thinking about? Are you distracted? What's distracting you? Again, we're looking for a baseline, but with your mental processes, it's a little bit more difficult because we live in a hyper-distractive world and we're trained to multitask and follow internet pop-ups and notice advertisements. Everything around us is vying for our attention. And we're pretty successful at avoiding it and avoiding some of the stimulus, but some gets through. And then we've also got the stuff going on in our personal lives. We've got stresses and demands. And so our baseline for our normal waking hours and daily living isn't necessarily the baseline we're looking for. There's way too much going on. So we need to get to a quiet place. We're looking to get our mind to a quiet, interference-free, neutral, or baseline. And our end goal of meditation isn't to completely silence or clear the mind, and we aren't trying for intense concentration. We don't need to be as dedicated or serious about it. That's not helpful for us. Instead, we're going to try to make it easy and still get us to our baseline. We're going to use an activity focused on our breathing, and we're going to give our minds and bodies something to do. For this, you're going to breathe in for a count of whatever's comfortable for you, maybe a count of 3 to 5. Then you're going to hold your breath for a count of whatever's comfortable. I hold for a bit shorter, so maybe a count of 2 to 4, and then exhale for whatever's comfortable, 3 to 5, or whatever feels right. And don't worry about holding between exhaling and inhaling again. To me, that just feels uncomfortable. So what we're doing is inhaling, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, inhale. So we'll continue that pattern, and it just gives our minds something to do, something to focus on, kind of getting it out of the way. And while you're doing it, adjust your counts until it feels comfortable. We aren't trying to hyperventilate or pass out from lack of air. Just take it easy. We're just paying attention to breathing as an activity to keep our minds and bodies busy. Simply focus on bringing air into your lungs, holding, then expelling the air in a gentle and rhythmic fashion. Let it be relaxing. If it's not helpful. Okay, so why focus on breathing? Access. Really, I think everybody can do it. It's readily available whenever and wherever we are, and it doesn't draw a lot of attention to us. And breathing or breath work also has lots of purported new agey wellness effects that I don't really know enough about to get into. But just from a physiological standpoint, we're exhaling more carbon dioxide than usual and retaining more oxygen, which can be good or feel good. Okay, what's happening with our meditation? As we follow our breathing for a few cycles, we'll begin to fall into a meditative state, and our minds will follow into that neutral or baseline. If you get distracted while breathing, don't judge yourself or become critical. Just put your attention back on your breathing. As you get in the zone, you'll become focused on your breathing, and your body will become comfortable. You might have some kind of subtle physical response, and you might feel a bit daydreamy or like you're spacing out. When you get to this point, that's it. You're in neutral, you've found baseline, and you're meditating. Now, it might only last for a couple of seconds before you're distracted or you pop out thinking, wow, I did it, I got that, is that it? Don't worry about it, that's okay. Until we become accustomed to this state, and dismissive of intrusive thoughts will bounce back and forth in and out of this trance-like state. But once you hit baseline once, you know what it is and can get back there. And the longer you can keep yourself from being pulled out of the state by incessant needs to check texts or social media or check the time, the more adept you'll become. I can guarantee that one of the things that will come up is the need to know how long you've been under. It's crazy because you will totally lose your sense of time while meditating. 5 minutes might seem like 20 minutes, or it might seem like only a minute has passed. To remove this distraction, I suggest that you use a timer. I use an app called Meditation Helper. I can set a bell to chime when it's time to start, and that's usually after 30 seconds of fidgeting or adjusting, and then I'm meditating, and then I'll have another one set to know when it's time to end. Or if it's a long session, I'll program a chime to go off every 10 minutes or so. And longer sessions are helpful. The longer you go, the more conditioned you become to going deep, and the faster you can get there. And since meditative states are important for psychic work, it's good to get good at it. Okay, so you don't need a dedicated meditation app. Any timer will do. You just need to be able to set your alarm for anywhere from 2 minutes and up. And for your first non-guided sessions, I usually suggest starting with 2 minutes. I mean, everybody's got 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is really kind of like the gateway drug. You'll get hooked and want to go longer. So start with 2 minutes. See what I mean? Okay. As for props or environmental settings for meditation, it's your call. I like to meditate on the beach with the energy from the ocean and wind and the quartz crystals of sand. And I mean, you haven't thought of that, right? Quartz crystals in the sand. Okay, but at home, I like to light candles, burn incense, and play music to create an atmosphere. I sit in a half lotus pose with my hands resting, palms up in my lap. I have my eyes closed. But the reality is that I don't need to do this, and I don't want to need to do any of these things to meditate. I need to be able to go into deep meditation anywhere and anytime, so needing props or the right environment is really a hindrance. On the other hand, since you're just starting out, props in the right setting can be helpful. They can be used to signal to yourself, your guides, and the universe that you're doing something special, and it kind of designs a mood and expectations. So for now, if you like the idea of using props or setting up an atmosphere, go for it. You probably want somewhere quiet when you start. Sometimes alone in the car or in the bathroom might be your best bet for avoiding interruptions. You also might need to wear headphones with non-distractive instrumental music. Look for music that's like massage therapists might use, or ambient environmental sounds like the sound of rain in the forest. Those things are easy to find, just Google them. I mentioned that I sit in a half lotus pose. I think that you can sit or stand however you want, however is comfortable, but sitting upright. This helps with setting up your energy body and chakras to better work with grounding down and lighting up from a vertical position. So upright. I'll get into that later. Right now, we just need to do the basics. Okay, so you've got your timer app. You're sitting with whatever atmosphere you've set up. It's quiet. You hit start on your timer, and let's say you're going for 2 minutes. You close your eyes and start counting your breathing. You're inhaling, you're holding, you're exhaling. You're just repeating that pattern and trying to not be distracted. Just focus on that and let that be your whole attention. If you become distracted, just refocus back on your breathing. At a certain point, something will begin to happen. It probably feels different for everyone. My awareness of self shifts and I feel physically lighter. My attention splits between the breathing and me becoming a witness to the process. I consider this space to be my baseline. I'm at neutral, where I'm aware of myself as well as my environment. You may have another subtle cue that lets you know when you're at baseline. It may feel like you're daydreaming or spacing out while you're aware of your breathing. You might get shivers. Your ears might start ringing. You might hear a rushing sound like water rushing. Your body might feel lighter or like it's floating. You might feel like it's hopping or it's dropping. You might have visual sensations like seeing a white light through closed eyelids, or you might just fall asleep. And that's okay at this point too, because at these states of consciousness, your guides might use this time to work on you or download information into your system. So don't worry if you're knocked out while trying to meditate. Some other spiritual thing might be happening, or maybe you're just falling asleep because you're tired and need it. That's all okay. Okay, at this point, you're at baseline. The next thing we're going to do is express our intent for what we want to happen. In this case, we intend to open up psychically. So we're going to tell the universe or God, or however you want to think of a higher power, we're going to tell the universe and our spirit guides that we want to open up psychically and spiritually. This employs your guides in the universe to help you get what you want. Your guides are unable to assist unless they've been explicitly asked for help, unless it's an emergency. Otherwise, they'd be interfering with your free will, so ask them for assistance in your psychic development. Then watch out over the next few days or months, because you're going to notice them stepping in to help. It's also helpful if you visualize flipping a switch or turning a dial as a representation or symbol of you opening up or turning on your psychic abilities. And as you finish your meditation session, you're going to want to use this same mechanism to turn yourself off. Otherwise, you're just going to be drained of energy. Okay, so you're breathing, you're at baseline, you've made your intent known, you've flipped your switch, you're turned on. Now turn your attention back to your breathing and make sure you're still in this neutral or baseline space. If you aren't, go back to breathing and work on it a little bit more. Don't judge. This is just how it works. While you're doing this, you'll need to reestablish your baseline occasionally, so that's not a big deal. Okay, so next it's time to start paying attention to the subtle things coming in. Your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and sensations that are incoming. And it's either going to be obvious that it's your stuff, or it's going to be environmental or psychic impressions that you're receiving. Just go with it, don't judge it, and trust that you're receiving some sort of information. Mentally ask for feedback or messages from your guides. These will be seemingly random thoughts, images, voices, and messages. You might see text, hear sounds, hear music, smell things, have different feelings, see scenes, get tastes, or physical feelings, or it could be anything that draws your attention. And go with it, just trust it. Now, the funny thing that's likely to happen is that when you get your psychic impression, you're going to get excited and pop right out of your meditative state. Try to pop back in so you can continue your meditation until you're ready to be done. And just go with it for a while, or until your timer goes off and you're ready to come out. When you're done, give thanks to whoever helped you. And I suggest that you shut yourself down or close your psychic awareness by flipping whatever switch or dial you used earlier. This will keep you from becoming drained of energy as you're developing your psychic abilities. So turn off, then bring your awareness back to your body and surroundings. Open your eyes, shift your body, shake it out, stretch, get grounded back into physical reality. And now you want to take notes. And so write this in your journal. And you've got a journal, right? One thing you might notice is the impressions you picked up during the meditation have a dreamlike quality. Your recall of what happened is either going to be super vivid in detail, or it's going to be really hard to remember like a dream. If it's difficult to remember, that's because you weren't grounded or tethered to the physical dimension. You're kind of out there in space. And we'll talk about grounding in a future episode. If you need to, just Google it. There's plenty of people talking about grounding, but we'll talk about that in the future. To deal with the amount of information I pick up in meditations, I sometimes use an audio recorder so I can dictate what's going on during a session or afterwards in a rush when I recall everything. Quite often I get EVPs or spirit voices recorded on the audio from my sessions. So that's something else you might want to try, or something that might interest you. Okay, so I plan on putting out a guided meditation version of this, so look out for that in the upcoming days. And I hope this has helped with your meditation practice and opening up to the other side. If so, please let me know in the comments and share this video. If you're subscribed, thank you. If you aren't yet, thanks for clicking the button right now to subscribe. I'd love to hear about your successes or approaches to meditation, so please comment. And thanks for watching.